Hey guys, welcome back to Ollie Talks Airsoft. Today I'm going to be talking about reloading, and this is basically just with regard to gas rifles and gas pistols, because you're going to be reloading them considerably more than you would kind of any other gun. So if you want to stay competitive against people that are playing with AEGs and you decide to go out with some sort of gas rifle like this, then you're going to need to really nail down your reloads. There's loads of information out there on the internet about how to do like really fast, really slick reloads, and that's really good. There's some really important stuff there, and there's a lot of things that, you know, there's way more experienced people than me, and they can teach you loads. So go and check those guys for the fast reloads. But I'd probably watch this video first just to get an idea of why some of what they're doing really isn't relevant for airsoft, and a couple of things that they don't do which are essential for airsoft. So without further ado, I'll preface this by saying normally I would be wearing a plate carrier, and this would have normally 3 mags in the front, and these would be essentially mags that I would use to reload my primary source, which is on my belt. So on this particular belt I've got an S-Tac Kiwi with a Tokyo Marui MWS mag. I've then got 2 single Kiwis, and on this side I'm running a Safariland UBL mid-ride with a T-Rex Armors Ragnarok light bearing X300, and I have my Tokyo Marui Glock 17 Loki tactical in there as well. So when I say that some things really aren't relevant, what am I talking about? Well, a lot of the stuff that you're going to see on the internet is people doing speed reloads. So what that's going to consist of is someone probably shooting their gun. So just to confirm, none of the mags that I'm using today are loaded. Everything, all the guns completely dry. So obviously on this I will hold down the slide catch, and on this we're just going to be working from an open and closed bolt depending on the situation. So first off, when they're talking about speed reloads, so what they'll be doing is there'll be a buzzer, they'll come up, bang. What they'll then do is they'll drop their mag. These are like £40 a pop. The mag lips are cheaper, but if they land wrong, they will break. Here is an example of what some broken mag lips look like, and that's what happens when you drop your mags. You want them to look like this, so they can actually hold the BBs and you can actually shoot the gun. So what happened is, you see we've gone to a bolt lock here, so they will drop the mag onto the floor, which we're not going to do. They'll then reach down, grab the new mag, put it in, hit the bolt catch, and obviously back into the fight. You'll also notice there, what I just did was manipulated the safety. This is something that we typically won't do in airsoft. It's good to build good habits, but it's airsoft. It's not a real gun. It's not a real firearm. It's not going to kill anyone. You're only going to be doing this either at home when you're practicing, or when you're actually out on the field, in which case you'll be wearing goggles and everything like that. So actually the idea of spending the extra time to manipulate the safety, if you're using airsoft as a training tool and you do use real firearms, then absolutely do it. You know, you should be building those good habits. But for the majority of people, if you're getting into airsoft and you're thinking, "Oh, there's a lot to remember there," don't worry. What normally happens is they say game on, all safeties are off, and they remain so until the end of the game. That's very typical for airsoft. However, what I would suggest building into this idea of a speed reload, so coming up, bang, you can't just drop your mag. So what I've seen a lot of people suggesting is, when you have your bolt lock, I'll say, grab this mag, go down, grab your spare mag, put it in, drop the bolt, and then you're putting an empty mag back into your primary reload source. That's not smart. It's not a clever thing to do. It's caught me out a couple of times because I've followed that advice, pulled out, empty mag, in we go, drop the bolt, nothing happens, and I get shot as a result. So don't be that guy. Don't tack mag a mag. You know, if you're going to tack mag, that means that you don't know how many BBs you've got in the mag that you're taking out of the gun. all you know is that it's not enough BBs to get you through the next firefight that you're going to have. So, you know, I might have engaged 2 or 3 targets, maybe I've shot 10 BBs, maybe I've shot 20. Well, in this mag I get 35, and I'm about to, you know, go into a castle, storm a building, you know, anything like that. Well, I'm going to want a tac mag, but what I'm going to want to do is do it from one of my front reload sources. So this should really be for when you're trying to do a fast reload. So how is a fast reload in Airsoft going to differ? Because obviously we hit that bolt lock and we don't just want to drop the mag onto the floor. Also, you don't actually particularly want to use a dump pouch. As soon as you've got maybe 2 or 3 of these mags in a dump pouch, it's going to swing around, it's going to not only hit into the back of your legs when you're running, but it's also going to knock into things. So if you're like me, you play a lot of CQB, it's going to knock into doorways, it's going to knock into walls. The last time I went, I had to remind myself by using my dump pouch of why I don't use my dump pouch. So I was like, it's on my belt, why aren't I using it? No, got to start using it. No, it was a waste of time. What you're more likely to do is when you hit that bolt lock, you're being shot at, so you're going to get down. That's the first big difference that you're going to find between playing Airsoft and real steel shooting. They're just working a clock and they're working targets. You're working live targets, so they're going to be shooting back. So as soon as your gun is out of action, unless someone is close enough for you to transition, in which case do so, and we'll go over that in 1 second. But actually you're going to be ducking down. So what I would normally do is take the mag out, and normally put it on the floor next to me. It saves in the middle of a firefight. If I'm going for this particular source, that is my speed reload source. So if I've got plenty of time on my hands, I'll happily reload from the front of my plate carrier. But the reality is, as soon as my bolt locks back, I'm going to drop to one knee, I'm going to take the mag out, put it on the floor, get my next mag out, up, and I'm back into the fight. I can then stand up, lean around barricades, start engaging targets. So that's a key difference. What I tend to do is, because these mags, unlike real mags, where, you know, an empty gas mag weighs basically the same as a full gas mag. It's still going to, you know, be about 500 grams of weight for you. So the more of them you can actually get off your rig, especially if you shot them to bolt lock where there are no BBs left in the mag, you can either choose to carry those mags around with you, in which case I would normally choose to, after the firefight had finished and I either won or lost, I'd probably take 20-30 seconds to pick those mags up off the floor and try and put them back into my plate carrier. If I had a rucksack or something, just chuck them in there as well. That's absolutely fine. But don't take a half full mag and put it back into your primary reload source, because it's not a smart thing to do, because when you need it, you want it to be there. So that's kind of one of the first things. Also, you know, secondly was kind of talking about the dump pouch. Actually, especially the Blue Force Gear lightweight ones, they're not very good for gas mags. So I am thinking about picking up a different dump pouch, and I may get better results with that. Obviously I'll have to let you guys know what happens, but you know, only time will tell. So for me, I'll perform what I would consider to be an Airsoft speed reload. I'm obviously not going to do this particularly quickly, but so safety off. So I didn't actually put, I'm going to leave that in. I didn't actually put a mag in here, so I didn't actually have anything to reload from. So we'll try that one more time. So not too long, but that's quite realistic for how long it can take you in a firefight, and that's really what you're going to want to practice, rather than either re-indexing back into your hip and getting into that bad habit, or potentially just dropping your mag and breaking your mag lips, because that's also going to cost you money. So the next thing that I said we would touch on is transitioning. So this is going to be when you fired your main gun and you've gone to a bolt lock, so like it already is, you fire, you go to a bolt lock, you then, and you'll notice a lot of real steel shooters will do this as well, as they drop the gun, you can basically stick your thumb out and it will knock the safety on for you. It's sort of, you just leave your hand where it is, and then I guess it's personal preference whether you go outboard, inboard, straight down the front. For me, normally if I'm playing, I'll be wearing a plate carrier and it'll have some mags in. So the best way for me to do it is to drop the gun straight down the front. I've got a desk just in front of me and I'm not wearing a plate carrier, so I could hit myself in a sensitive area, so I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, it would go down the front and then you can draw, and you can then still access whichever mags you have on the side. So that's really going to be the most important thing when you're thinking about your transition. Is, are you still going to be able to access the gun that you're trying to transition to? So obviously I'm not going to transition over to this side and struggle here to get to my sidearm. The most important thing, thought number one, is getting this gun up into the fight. Thought number two is how I'm going to reload that, and am I going to have access to do it? And for the most part, the easiest way for you to do that is going to be to drop the gun down the front, pick this up, do your reload, or whatever you've got to do, and then back to your main gun. So, to give you an example of what an airsoft transition would normally look like, I'm not going to duck all the way, because otherwise you won't actually see it. So, to do the full kind of T-Rex arms one that they do, obviously I'm not that quick, so I'm not gonna rush myself on this. You see there, this went over to the side. It's going to be difficult for me to get my second reload. It's also going to be difficult for me to then re-index that, because I'm now trying to like duck through. So there you go, that's a training need. Also, you'll notice again, so I'm in an odd position. I'm perfectly happy to stand here, pull this up all day without looking, put it back into the holster. Struggled a bit there. But basically, it goes back in. You can find it without actually looking, because you get used to the feel of where it is. As soon as you're like this, or you're forwards, or you're kneeling down, all of a sudden everything is in a slightly different position. And it's probably worth spending time getting used to what those positions are, because shooting from a kneeling position around a barricade that's a pretty classic reloading position for me. I will often find myself up here when the bolt lock hits, and it'll be a case of doing everything almost on the side. But that's how it goes. And again, you know, you'll be firing, go to bolt lock, there. And here you see I drop the rifle much more down the front. Immediately I can just come in, tack mag, and do all of the other fun bits that you can do. So yeah, that was just my little piece. I tend to find also when I'm reloading a pistol, you notice I didn't duck down there, because I've actually got my rifle slung right in front of me. So, and again, it tends to be that pistol will be for if someone is right there and they're in plain sight available to shoot, and my primary source has just gone, then yeah, it's straight on with the pistol, and that should be your first thought. But obviously if you're engaging targets at a longer distance, then yeah, you're going to want to think about sort of reloading, getting rid of this, and getting back up into the fight. So yeah, when you do your ducking down. So did I actually do a full one? I don't know. I think I kind of messed it up. So right, let's do. Make sure I'm fully loaded here. Sorry if this is getting a bit boring. Feel free to just stop watching. So bring it up. And there we go. That's the full cycle. I did know that I put it back in there just because convenience. And then obviously the full cycle with in airsoft mode would probably be something along the lines of and again the ends of these mags are now pushing into me. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and also thank you to all the new subscribers that have found my channel. Yeah, it's great to see all you new faces and stuff. We'll do some more MWS stuff coming up, but for the time being, right, take care guys, and I'll see you on the next one.